Meta brings advertising fully in-house using AI, virtual influencers are landing brand deals, Amazon is ramping up AI ads, and connected TV is the next big thing for marketers. Welcome to the Privacy-Led Marketing Show, where we share a roundup of marketing, tech, and data privacy news and help you connect the dots to make sense of what it all means. Today, I'm joined by my co-host and CMO at Usercentrics, Adelina. How are you doing?
Hi, Kirsty. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Later on, to make sure we're compliant and in check, we're going to be joined by our legal researcher, Barbara. But first, our stories. As connected TV advertising in the US is projected to grow by 13% to $26.6 billion in 2025, advertisers are recognizing the TV as prime real estate for reaching an engaged audience. Studies actually show that CTV ads enjoy viewability rates of over 90%, which is way higher than mobile or desktop ads. So it's no surprise that connected TV has become a popular medium for brand building campaigns. So Adelina, we'd like to know, how relevant are connected TVs for marketers?
First of all, it provides a new channel, and it's kind of a nascent channel, the connected TVs that we can tap into. It also offers different opportunities, right? Because this is content that people engage with in the comfort of their homes. You can do now these contextual ads where it's like inspiring, you see a product in action that's like quite powerful for people to resonate. However, connected TVs also, when you work with them, you should take into account how you're using the data from these people. And there is consented data for connected TVs. Consent management platforms like Usercentrics covers you in that regard as a marketer. And even more so, you should think that in a household, the TV could be used by multiple members of that family or people living there. So there is like much more to take into account around how are you doing marketing to them, and what information you're using and what for.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned that everyone in a home could be using a TV for different reasons. So the data is going to be the particularly sore point there, because I know my boyfriend does not want the adverts that I get. So
yeah. So imagine when you get personalized ads on your phone, right? And sometimes you feel like, oh my God, I just spoke to my friend about that. What if that shows on the TV? So marketers need to really think about how to tackle this when it is potentially more people in the household. So that implies how you analyze the data, because it can get a bit more messy, but also how you personalize for situations like what we just discussed.
AI-generated creators are shaking up social media with millions of followers across platforms like Instagram and TikTok. This is Lil Michaela. She's a 19-year-old Brazilian-American model, musician, and influencer, and she's made entirely of artificial intelligence, 3D design, and animation. To date, she's featured in product endorsements for brands like Calvin Klein and Prada. Then we've got Aitana Lopez, a Spanish AI model earning up to $10,000 a month in brand deals. These are just a couple of examples, with the global virtual influencer market projected to reach $37.8 billion by 2030. Adelina, people are obviously connecting with these AI influencers. What's your take on the trend?
This is super interesting. It might feel a bit weird at the moment, but if you think about it, we always watched movies or read stories, right? I think there's something in us as humans about connecting to a good story, even if it's a fictional character, but you can relate to. And we know, right, like the people in the movies are actors, but we still resonate. So there's something in there. Obviously, it's a new technology that enables this, and it's pretty fascinating that this is happening. But I think I can somehow understand why people are resonating with this. And then from a marketer's perspective, this is very interesting, because then you can shape these characters as you want. Of course, marketers have always worked with influencers, and there's always like guidelines in terms of like who resonates with your brand and representing their values, but then they have their own life, right? Like there were cases where they would go into some different news that maybe the brand doesn't like how things turn for the influencers that they used. Now, when you have an artificial intelligence character, in this sense, you have more power to control what that person stands for. And then brands can work with these people and like craft much more, okay, what are they as people? What brands can they represent, what values, what kind of posts they can have. So I find it pretty interesting that some agencies or individuals have made this and brands are already embracing this. I think there is future in this, definitely.
Making the jump from influencers to search engines, AI is rewriting the rules of how people search online, and marketers are racing to keep up. Instead of clicking through website pages, people are getting instant conversational answers through tools like ChatGPT, Google's SGE, and Perplexity. This is causing a major disruption to traditional content marketing strategies. Adelina, the AI is changing browser behavior. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think this is a major shift. Like in the world of digital, we started with the web pages, and a lot of things have evolved in technology, but the pages were there. Perhaps we changed like how we access information, right? Like that's why SEO came in and so on. But this will be a major change that is requesting from marketers to really think how the experience will change when people won't have to go themselves to your homepage and other pages, but will have AI agents finding the information that they requested and booking or buying or whatever they would do on your website. But I'm really, really calling this a major change in the industry because basically we've been just dealing with two platforms, your website pages and potentially social media and so on, even if it's laptop, mobile, and so on. But this is shifting completely the user experience, and marketers need to rethink everything. And I would especially call out two aspects of it. As I said, your brand differentiator, in the sense like when you create such a journey. And second, how are you collecting data and how are you using that data when you are actually interacting via a lot of AI agents that do things on behalf of companies and people.
So as always, data is king.
Yes, definitely. And especially consented data.
With all this talk about AI creating content, shaping search, and even replacing agencies, I think it's time we did a legal check. Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Chrissy.
We've got Barbara here, our legal researcher at Usercentrics, to help us make sense of the risks. Barbara, what are the implications of relying on AI and what should marketers be looking out for?
AI is evolving fast, and now it's central to business strategy, consumer experience, and regulatory scrutiny. We're entering a growing up phase for AI. Its technology is advancing rapidly, but the rules are still being written and often contested. Take Meta, for example. The company recently announced that it will begin using public content and AI interactions from adult users in the EU to train its AI models, but excluding data from minors and private messages. Meta is relying on legitimate interest rather than consent as its legal basis for this data processing, a move that has already triggered strong reactions. Advocacy groups and the Hamburg Data Protection Authority have voiced strong concerns, and one privacy activist even issued a cease and desist letter warning that this approach bypasses the GDPR's requirement for explicit, informed consent. Despite these concerns, the Irish Data Protection Authority and the Cologne Higher Regional Court recently allowed Meta to move forward with using user content for AI training, unless users object. The Hamburg Data Protection Authority is now following their lead. On the flip side, the US is now heading in the opposite direction, as it seeks to be the world leader in AI development. The US House of Representatives passed a federal budget bill on May 22nd that includes a provision to ban states from regulating AI systems for 10 years. If enacted, this would prevent individual states from passing or enforcing AI-related laws until 2035. Despite some states already having laws in place, if passed, this bill could make them unenforceable. Critics argue the bill could protect big tech, and 40 state attorneys general have pushed back against the moratorium on state regulation. The bill now moves to the Senate, where it's expected to face significant resistance. And if passed, it could also face legal challenges. So, where does this leave us? We're in a moment where AI is becoming incredibly powerful, but also highly politicized and deeply scrutinized. So my takeaway is this: AI is no longer just a tech issue, it's a trust issue. It's a legal issue, and it's absolutely a business issue. Marketeers especially need to be part of the conversation early. Ask the tough questions about how AI is being used, what data it relies on, and how we communicate all of that to users. Because as technology evolves, so do the risks and the responsibilities.
Thank you, Barbara. By the way, this show is brought to you by Usercentrics. Usercentrics is on a mission to help brands build trust and drive growth by putting user consent at the core of every digital interaction. Our powerful range of products are used by 2.3 million websites and apps, making it easy for businesses to stay compliant, respect user choices, and still deliver a killer marketing result. If you want to build trust with privacy-led marketing, try Usercentrics for free in the link below. Now back to our stories. Amazon is making waves with its latest AI-powered contextualized advertising platform, unveiled at its second blockbuster upfront this year. These new ad formats include contextually relevant pause ads and interactive shoppable ads powered by generative AI. The pause ads dynamically generate messaging that matches the on-screen imagery in real time. Meanwhile, the shoppable ads pull directly from real-time Amazon store information to showcase relevant products instantly. The shift towards contextual targeting is already gaining momentum in industries like automotive, where marketers are moving away from cookie-based targeting in favour of more privacy-conscious AI-driven strategies. A recent article in The Drum says contextual advertising is expected to accelerate by 13.3% year on year up into 2030. So Adelina, what do you think about this shift?
First of all, I think contextual advertising, when it's about, for example, what movie you're watching and you're seeing a product you like, it's much more respectful to people than just making ads based on their previous behaviors, where it's a bit like overuse of data sometimes, or like too much for what they would have consented or preferred to get served. So I think this context is very useful because you see something in action, you like it, you get curious. So the fact that technology is adapted so much to this, where you would watch a movie on your TV and right away you can buy that product if you're interested, and you can do it through your TV, connected also to your phone and so on. That's pretty amazing development of technology. But again, to the core principles of what it means for people and especially their data privacy, I find like playing with this contextual advertising is much more powerful than behavioral advertising.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg envisions a future without creative agencies, where businesses can use Meta AI to create and deliver full advertising campaigns. At Stripe's annual Sessions conference in San Francisco, Zuckerberg outlined Meta's plans to develop what he calls an end-to-end AI advertising product designed to take over the entire advertising workflow. Zuckerberg went on to say that this could change how small businesses undertake digital marketing campaigns, eliminating the need for third-party creative and marketing consultants. According to Wall Street Journal, Zuckerberg's vision is already taking shape, with marketers increasingly handing over content creation and quality control to AI. But it's not all speed, scale, and happily ever after. There's growing concern in the industry about what's being lost in the process. A recent piece in The Drum highlights major fears still holding marketers back, things like brand safety, creative quality, and trust in AI outputs. Adelina, with over 20 years in the industry, you're a pro at this stuff. So what do you think about the news?
I've seen a lot, and I think it's good that we can accelerate production. And in advertising, the importance for it to work is actually the creative that you put in. So I think this can be a powerful booster or a tool for the people that use it. We need to see it as another way to kind of distill through a lot of insights, build different creative iterations, see what works, have more segmentation and so on. So I think this could be very powerful from the small companies also to the bigger companies with bigger budgets.
Can you see any negatives, or do you think it's just going to amplify creativity?
I think it will amplify. The only potential negatives that I would like to flag, it's like what I said earlier, like around brand, like beyond brand, don't just like be everything for everyone. Be very clear on what you're standing for, even more than before, I would say. And then again, the use of data. AI can be fed a lot of data. Make sure that it's consented data. Make sure that you are building experiences that give value to people. Don't just let the tool run by itself.
Thank you. That's it for our headlines today. And honestly, with all the news we've covered, it feels like we're watching the industry shift in real time. Adelina, we've discussed a lot today. What's your main takeaway from all this news?
I think as marketers, we always evolve with the latest developments in technology. But we have matured as an industry, and the customers have matured as well in terms of their expectations. So I've seen a lot of the rise of digital marketing just going with the latest shiny new technology, all the data we can grab and so on. And I think what's core now is to get more strategic as marketers, to really think users' journeys, brand values, ethical use of data. All these kind of things matter, and we need to really get much more perspective and not just jump into the latest new things. So it's good to stay aware and experiment with these things, but I'm really encouraging marketers to have a proper strategic thinking about all this.
It's time for us to level up.
Exactly.
Amazing. Thank you. So let's turn the question back to our viewers. What's one thing you'll be paying attention to as a marketer in the next couple of weeks? Don't forget to hit subscribe and share with your marketing pals. And if you've got ideas for our upcoming episodes, leave it in the comments. And if you want to learn more about privacy-led marketing, follow the link in the description down below. See you next time.